Now, when we have something other than a 1 in front of the squared term, we're going to use what is sometimes called the AC method. And in general, what that means is that something like 3y squared plus 22y plus 7 can be thought of as ay squared plus by plus c. So what we need to do is we need to ask a question. What two numbers add to, in this case, 22, and multiply to AC would be 3 times 7, which is 21. Okay, that is our question. So let's look at the factors of 21. Well, if we do 1 and 21 and we add those, that gives us 22. So we can rewrite 3y squared plus 22y plus 7 as 3y squared plus 1y plus 21y plus 7. Now, why would we want to do that? Well, if you will recall the other day when we were talking about factoring by grouping, we can look at these as two pairs. 3y squared plus y has a factor of y in both terms. 21y plus 7 has a factor of 7 in both terms. Now, look what they have in common. So we can now say that 3y plus 1 times y plus 7 could have given us our 3y squared plus 22y plus 7. Let's try another one. AC. What two numbers add to a negative 13 and multiply to 6 times 5, which is 30? I would highly recommend that you actually write this question out using words. So we're going to look for the factors of 30. If I were to do 1 and 30, or negative 1 and negative 30, that gives me 31 and negative 31. If I were to do 2 and 15, and negative 2 and a negative 15, that gives me 17 and a negative 17. I'm getting closer, but I'm not quite there. If I do 3 and 10, or a negative 3 and a negative 10, that's 13 and a negative 13. We're looking for a negative 13. So we can write 6b squared minus 13b plus 5 as 6b squared minus 3b minus 10b plus 5. Now, if you do this and you don't see something you can factor out, you can switch the order of these two terms in the middle, the ones we just broke this into. So here I have a 3b, which leaves me with 2b minus 1. Here I have a negative 5. That leaves me with a 2b minus 1. They have a 2b minus 1 in common. And that leaves me with a 3b minus 5. What two numbers add to a negative 37 and multiply to 18 times 15, which is 270. Now, that's a good size number. So let's start with something maybe it's a little more straightforward. Since we know this ends in 10, or ends in 0, we know it's divided by 10. So let's see where this puts us. 27, or 270, 10, and 27, or a negative 10 and a negative 27. And we got pretty good to begin with on this one. So now we can break this up into 18x squared minus 10x minus 27x plus 15y squared. Now these should actually be xy's. That's what we have here in the middle. Well, let's see what we have here. If we have an 18x and a x squared and a negative 10xy, we know we have a 2x in common. It leaves me with 9x minus 5y. If I have these two in common, I know that I have a 3y. It leaves me with a negative 9x plus 5y. Well, there's a difference here of a sign. So what I will do is I bring out a negative 3y. It makes it a positive 9 and a negative 5. I now have the same thing inside. 9x minus 5y and a 2x plus a negative 3y.